It all kicks off in a certain year, when a mysterious abyss dropped down on the planet, throwing humanity into total chaos. Out of nowhere, everyone in the real world got turned into players in this new reality, having absolutely no clue what was going on. To try and figure out the truth behind all this madness, humans started exploring the depths of this relentless abyss. There was a massive rumor going around that whoever managed to clear the floors of that place would get absolutely anything they wished for. The prize for clearing the mission could be anything from crazy money and clout to a massive boost in a person's lifespan. But what really caught everyone's eye was the wild promise of actually unlocking the authority of the gods themselves. With that, the system welcomed the new survivors, asking if they were ready to start this super risky playthrough. So, the MC wakes up in a dark cave, looking a little dazed after spawning into this totally hostile environment. Near him, a duo is wondering why he's blocking the entrance to the 5th floor, assuming he's just another NPC getting in the way. Wasting zero time, one of the guys acts totally toxic and strikes the MC, telling him to get out of there and not go AFK in the middle of the path. Still confused by the whole situation, he brushes off the aggro and just asks what year they're in right now. Thinking it's a total joke, the tryhard replies that any dummy knows they are already in the year. Hearing that info, the MC is completely shook, realizing that 100 whole years have passed since his era. While the party leader suggests not wasting time with the noob, the girl decides to use her skill to check the target's stats. The system screen reveals the name Lindu, showing that his level is at a big fat 0 and his class is completely hidden. Seeing those mid results, the bully busts out laughing, mocking how a level 0 scrub must have sneaked in there. Watching the scene from afar, another group whispers that the guy is totally cooked, since the Hawk Squad isn't exactly known for showing mercy. They even think about offering some help, but decide not to get involved in the drama so they don't pull any major aggro to their own side. Ramping up the trash talk, the aggressor demands respect since he's from an elite squad serving under Gu Yunting. Hearing that specific name, Lindu reacts instantly, wanting to double check if he actually heard that right. A slight shift in the MC's vibe happens, showing that he knows the guy they just mentioned very, very well. Bursting into an over-the-top laughing fit, he finds it unreal that 100 years have passed and that jerk is still kicking. Flexing a dangerous aura, the guy figures his old acquaintance must be living his best life after leaving him in the absolute trenches. With an intimidating presence, he finally gets that the clowns in front of him are just minions of his old rival. Feeling the heavy shift in the room, the duo backs up immediately, totally intimidated by the energy this supposed noob is giving off. Tilted that he's actually scared of a level 0, the tryhard pulls his sword, refusing to take that kind of disrespect toward his leader. Determined to teach him a harsh lesson, he rushes in with a fast attack, wanting to show the real power gap between them. But Lindu intercepts the hit barehanded, completely canceling out the blade's impact like it was absolutely nothing. Giving him zero chance to back off, the MC brutally counters, disabling the opponent's arm and making his HP drop fast. Looking at the result with pure boredom, Lindu comments that this squad is about as annoying and irrelevant as a swarm of flies. The defeated guy instantly panics, unable to process how a level 0 player can be so insanely fast and strong. Desperate from the pain, he tells his two teammates to stop watching and just attack the MC with everything they've got. Knowing exactly what's about to go down, Lindu just shoots a cold, focused glare at the duo trying to jump him. In one quick and clean move, he neutralizes the two opponents at the same time, slamming them both to the ground with zero effort. Capitalizing on the huge opening, he ends the whole scuffle by stepping firmly to pin down the bully who started the fight. With the three of them defeated at his feet, he lets them know he was clearing complex dungeons way before these newbies even spawned into the world. Right then, a big brain idea crosses his mind, remembering the golden rule of looting the enemies you just completely owned. Seeing the sinister approach, the group's leader goes into absolute panic, asking what the MC is about to do. Completely ignoring the complaining, Lindu confiscates all of the team's gear, leaving the three of them in nothing but their underwear. Humiliated and freezing, the defeated guys hide behind some rocks, crying over losing items that cost an absolute fortune. Checking out the confiscated loot, the MC thinks the swords are pretty weak, finding the inflated prices of this era totally ridiculous. Accepting that this gear will at least work for the early game, he turns his back to leave, but gets interrupted by an unexpected female voice. He stops walking right away, already prepping for the chance that someone else wants to get clapped and hand over free loot. The girl approaches in a super friendly way, introducing herself as Su Kinju and revealing she's part of the Red Lion Guild. Full of energy, she hypes up Lindu's attitude, saying those guys love to bully low levels and totally deserve to get humbled. Realizing she wasn't there to pick a fight, the MC sighs in disappointment, since he was really banking on getting more free items. Showing zero interest in chatting, he starts walking away again, while the girl quickly follows him, trying to grab his attention. Catching up to the guy, she asks him not to rush off so fast, offering perks like cash intel or even a spot in a squad. As a tactic to keep him there, she mentions noticing the genuine interest he showed when he heard the famous leader's name. That strat works instantly, making Lindu stop in his tracks on the dirt path to actually hear her out. Turning his focus back to the girl, he shows he's intrigued and down to hear where this sudden chat is going. Further away, the scene shows the bodies of taken down monsters, letting us know the area is still a danger zone packed with wild enemies. Suddenly, a giant demonic wolf spawns in their path, growling, flashing its claws and ready to pounce at any second. Caught off guard by the beast spawning in, the girl yells about the incoming danger, but the MC is already stepping up to handle it. Without showing a single ounce of hesitation, he keeps his guard up, coldly calculating the exact moment the monster is going to strike. When the creature launches through the air, he moves faster than the eye can track, and lands a clean hit that completely wraps up the fight. Having a front row seat to this, Su Kinju is mind blown, realizing the guy's reaction time easily outclasses even her own character class. She tries to check his stats through the system info, getting even more shocked when she confirms he is still stuck at level 0. Way too curious for her own good, she steps closer and asks if he's using some kind of special artifact to smurf and hide his true power. Right in the middle of this invasive interrogation, a second beast decides to ambush the MC from behind, trying to catch him lacking. Without even turning around, Lindu blocks the attack and defeats the creature with ridiculous ease, keeping his full attention on the girl. Tired of the distractions, he cuts off her curiosity, demanding she stop asking useless questions and just hand over the intel she promised. Annoyed by the guy's lack of manners, the girl complains out loud, telling him to be a little less impatient with people. With a scary tone, he reminds her that they are in the middle of a high-risk drop zone and that keeping secrets out here is a terrible idea. Feeling the crushing pressure of his vibe, she gulps, trying to wrap her head around how a basic level 0 could be so terrifying. Getting back to the main point of their deal, she starts explaining that the guy he's looking for became a massively influential figure. Apparently, Lindu's old rival grinded all the way up to the maximum level and is now known by literally everyone as the God of Light. She drops the lore that during the crisis 1 century ago, a strategic genius put together the ultimate exploration squad to tackle the abyss. Hyped about the lore, the girl claims that this ancient leader was the real MVP, totally overshadowing the current god. While listening to the girl hype up the hero from the past, the MC stays completely silent, keeping his own secrets under wraps. Realizing she assumed way too much, she apologizes, figuring a newbie like him would have never heard of that forgotten genius. With a chill confidence, he guarantees he knows exactly what that great explorer went through and all of his past achievements. Actually, he has the absolute best reasons to know the lore, since he was the one who personally carried humanity during those dark times. Before the whole apocalypse kicked off and people turned into players, he was just a regular guy who was totally addicted to PCs and gaming. But it ended up being exactly that insane game knowledge that made him the legendary author of the walkthrough that saved the world back in its golden era. Flashing back to the past, the MC thinks about one simple detail left behind by the system devs. The screen from back then prompted him to type in his ultimate wish. Without really thinking about the fallout, he typed that he wanted the world to become as interesting as a video game. Right after that, he literally just smashed the enter key and confirmed his choice. Shook by the realization, Lindu realizes that it was exactly that one harmless click that set everything off. That was the absolute trigger that turned the real world into a hardcore survival game. To try to patch things up and uncover the secrets of the abyss, he formed the most cracked squad of that time. Hard carrying as the leader, the guy faced extreme boss battles against nightmare, fuel creatures. It took 10 long years of pure grinding, but his team finally managed to clear the very last floor of the place. As the ultimate drop for all that effort, the system blessed the winners with the highly coveted authority of the gods. Cutting back to the present, the girl follows the guy and mentions that those original explorers became literal deities. But she explains that the authority messed with some heavy energies and things didn't exactly go according to plan. To make sure his teammates stayed safe from the crazy energy, the party leader heroically sacrificed himself. Totally triggered by this version of the lore, Lindu reacts with extreme shock hearing about this made-up sacrifice. Not getting why the guy is so tilted, Su Kinju just nods and confirms that this is exactly how it went down. Trying to chill him out, she mentions that the lords themselves confirmed it, and even put up a whole monument to honor him. Completely consumed by rage, the MC stomps the ground and totally obliterates a rock. Furious, he states he's going to find that statue and smash his old backstabbing partner's head right into it. Right then, the girl totally freaks out and desperately warns him about the massive creature spawning right behind his back. Keeping his cool, Lindu just orders the girl to get out of the way immediately so she doesn't lose any HP. With a violent dash, the guy rushes straight at the monster with crazy speed. Mid-dash, he complains that his teammate is screaming way too loud in his ear. Safely away from the danger zone, Su Kinju warns that this hidden boss is totally relentless, and that all the walkthroughs say to run away instantly. Ignoring the warning, the MC adjusts his stance and actually finds the irony of the whole situation pretty funny. Getting his fists ready for the clash, he acts super confident against the terrifying mob. Super chill, he mutters to himself that he just happened to bump into the exact monster he detailed in his very first game guide. The giant spider opens its fangs and launches a direct attack right at the intruder. The destructive impact hits the ground and kicks up a massive cloud of dust all over the rocky stage. Nimble as ever, Lindu dodges without taking a scratch and remembers that the beast has garbage vision and heavily relies on sensing vibrations. All he had to do was move fast enough to completely mess with the opponent's senses. Catching onto the rapid movement, the spider spams an area of effect attack, shooting a rain of poisonous spikes all over the zone. The sharp projectiles dig into the stone floor with insane force. Running for her absolute life, the girl screams that they are completely done for against that fatal attack. While casually dodging, Lindu reads the flaws in the monster's attack patterns and finds the whole thing super predictable. Gripping his blade, he realizes you just have to memorize the attack loops to literally never get hit. In a mocking tone, the guy flexes his disappointment seeing that the boss hasn't received a single buff or update in one whole century. Charging up his energy, he preps a counter attack specifically meant to scramble the air currents around the creature. Taking advantage of the massive opening, the MC dashes in, calling the monster free elo. With one flawless, clean strike, he lands a critical hit right on the dizzy beast. The sheer force of the impact triggers a huge energy explosion, wiping the boss off the map instantly. Watching from a distance, the girl is paralyzed as she analyzes just how insanely smooth and precise those movements were. It suddenly clicks in her head, and she notices his stance is identical to the legendary author of the guide from 100 years ago. Landing smoothly, the winner explains the exact coordinates of the monster's weak point, leaving the girl even more mind-blown. Yelling at the top of her lungs, she totally geeks out, explaining that aiming for such a tiny hitbox on a high-tier boss is basically impossible for casual players. Holding the drop he just scored, he doesn't get the hype and asks if that was supposed to be a hard quest. Not even caring about the drop rate, the guy tosses the premium mats straight into the girl's hands. She catches the item like it's the holy grail, mentioning she tried farming for that specific piece multiple times with zero luck. Turning his back to bounce, Lindu lets her know their temporary co-obsession is officially over right there. Trying to keep the guy around, she begs him to join her guild, promising to negotiate a really solid payout. Blunt and impatient, he shuts down the chat, stating he has zero interest in her offer. The girl watches him walk away, feeling a chill down her spine as she realizes his aura is way scarier than even the most hardcore veterans. Finally hitting the 6th floor of the abyss, the MC sighs in relief to finally find a moment of actual peace. Enjoying the chill vibes of the area, he decides to do a deep dive into why his dashboard is still hard, stuck at level 0. The system tries to load the data, but reports a critical anomaly and throws up a massive error reading the values. The screen pops up completely glitched out, displaying the guy's name with question marks on absolutely all of his vital stats. Staring at that cursed screen, he falls dead silent, trying to process the visual bug right in front of his eyes. Deep in thought, the warrior figures that being hard, stuck at the starter level was already a huge problem, but not having a single visible stat makes him completely furious, having zero clue where all his stacked power went. Out of nowhere, the blue user interface starts lagging out heavily, making way for a harsh, aggressive glow in the air. A massive red system warning takes over his vision, flagging a critical danger error in the data. Startled by the sudden jump scare, the guy asks out loud what kind of scuffed system this even is. A mysterious holographic figure pops up acting all smug, and the MC is shook, thinking his own interface just came to life. The entity arrogantly corrects the guy, saying he is the one who respawned, and that he needs a quick refresher on the terms of service between them. In a split second, a sharp pain hits the adventurer's chest, making him double over as he suffers from the sudden magical pressure. Coldly, the invisible voice states that this debuff is living proof of the soul contract forged between the two of them. The warning is loud and clear: as long as the guy doesn't try to grief the entity, the brand carved into his body won't deal any damage. The mysterious voice jogs Lin Du's memory, reminding him that 1 century ago, he got brutally backstabbed and fell into a perma-wipe zone. Reliving the endless fall, he remembers perfectly seeing a whole world made out of nothing but corrupted data and broken code. It was way down there in the extreme depths that he found the final boss responsible for turning all of humanity's reality into a ruthless game.